Anybody who grew up in the 90s will recognize the epic animated film Ramayana. The Legend of Prince Rama, directed by Yugo Sako along with legendary Indian animator Ram Mohan. It was made as a part of the 40th anniversary of the India-Japan diplomatic relationship. But just like the actual tale of Rama and Sita, the movie also fought an epic battle for its existence and survival to reach its viewers. Yes, the creator of the film has to overcome various forces to turn this religious work of stunning antiquity into an animated movie. So let's have a brief look at Yugo Sako's journey into the sacred world of Indian mythicism and his sincere efforts to make this animated retelling of an iconic story. While working on a documentary, The Ramayana Relics in 1983, Yugo Sako was so highly enticed by its spiritual theme that he researched deeper into the subject and went on to study 10 versions of it in Japanese. And after extensively researching this epic mythology, he aspired to adapt it into animation, since he believed a live-action movie might not depict the true essence of the legendary tale. Because Rama is God, I felt it was best to depict him in animation rather than by an actor, said Yugo in an interview. And that's when the struggle began. The leading local newspaper misunderstood Yugo Sako's documentary and wrote that he was altering the Holy Scripture. Soon thereafter, based on this misinterpretation, a protest letter was written by a right-wing Hindu organization, VHP, to the Japanese embassy in Delhi. The letter said that no foreigners could arbitrarily cinematize Rama's historical adventure, as it is a great national heritage of India. All parties held a meeting, and after the misconceptions were clarified, Yugo Sako suggested the idea of an animated film to the VHP and the central government. He told them that animation was an earnest art form in Japan, and it would help bring the Sanskrit poem to a wider global audience. The government agreed initially, but later declined his proposal for a bi-nation collaboration, saying the Ramayana is a very sensitive subject and cannot be portrayed as a cartoon. Also, the fact that the movie was being made at the height of Rama's birthplace movement added to the controversy that axed the prospects of producing the animated movie in India. With no choice and support left, the movie was ultimately produced in Japan, with nearly 450 artists from both the nation contributing to its creation. Indian animators guided their Japanese teammates with Indian customs and traditions depicted in the film, like how traditional clothes are worn and how the children receive blessings from their elders. Now when the production process was sorted, the quest was to take it to a global audience, and after 8 months of negotiation, Yugo finally convinced a big Hollywood studio to release it to US audiences. But then came the most difficult part. The studio wanted to alter the storyline by substituting the entire myth of 14-year exiler Sita's abduction, with sending the holy couple into the forest for their honeymoon. They wanted to turn it into a straight adventure concept, despite it being a perfect plot in all senses. The producers and Yugo firmly disagreed with it and parted away with the studio, as it was clearly against their sensitivity, which eventually prevented it from gaining a wider release. This is such a great example of choosing art over commerce. Sako precisely understood the sentiments attached to it and devoted a decade of his life to bringing this eternal mythology onto the big screen. Sako believes his exposure to India has taught him to see the larger picture rather than worry about short-term goals. In an interview, he said, "If I pass away, then this work can be done by others, and if I die, I can be reborn and continue the work." The biggest lesson here is to learn the importance of patience to do justice to our art and history, especially when dealing with such divine subjects. At times, we often underestimate the importance of detailed research and are more focused on delivering a half-hearted output that eventually gets a half-hearted response from the audience. This approach of quantity over quality has been a big hurdle on the path of Indian animation that needs to be addressed as soon as possible. Sako taught us that in our pursuit of purpose and goals, just like Prince Rama, we will face demons, but it's essential not to compromise with our morals and ethics and continue to walk towards the bigger vision for the greater good. It is such a kind of dedication from an artist that influences a generation to come. It is such a kind of dedication that helps to overcome obstacles and hurdles in the creation process. And it is such a kind of dedication that makes the art and the artist immortal, just like the historical tale of the Ramayana. To read the full article on which this video is based, please click on the link given in the description.